Did you know that being an empath or a highly sensitive person can make you more susceptible to emotional exhaustion? Let's uncover the secrets to healing as an empath. Hi, I'm Emily Cady. I help exhausted empaths break free from others' expectation, release generational trauma, and reclaim their energy by transforming their sensitivity into a powerful source of strength. As empaths, we're often viewed as highly sensitive, compassionate, and caring individuals who can deeply understand and connect with others. However, this incredible gift comes at a price. We tend to absorb the emotions of those around us, which can cause to emotional overload, anxiety, and even depression if not managed properly. Many of us empaths often feel like emotional sponges, unconsciously taking on the feelings of others without even realizing it. It can be incredibly draining, leaving us feeling exhausted, depleted, and unsure of even how to cope. One of the biggest challenges empaths face is setting healthy boundaries with others, which is critical for emotional well-being. Without boundaries, we can become overwhelmed by the constant influx of emotions. Unfortunately, empaths are often misunderstood, and our emotional struggles are often dismissed as mere sensitivity or emotional weakness. In this video, I share my own personal daily spiritual practices, as well as how I set boundaries and have self-care and mindful practices to help empaths maintain their energy and emotional balance. By embracing our empathic nature and learning how to harness our emotional sensitivity, we can thrive in a world that often seems overwhelming and draining. It's essential to recognize that being an empath is not a weakness, but rather a unique strength that requires careful nurturing and attention. By prioritizing our emotional well-being and developing healthy coping skills, we can unlock our full potential and live a more fulfilled, balanced life. One of the most critical steps in this journey is recognizing the importance of self-care and boundaries in our daily life. As an empath, I have found that I've often prioritized others' care over my own. So this is a very critical step and one that needs to be recognized. So what I want to start out with today is my spiritual secrets to empath healing. Number one, spiritual hygiene. This is about cleansing your energetic body every day. I call in Archangel Michael daily to cut the cords of anything that doesn't serve me or belong to me, and I send that energy back to its origin, whole and healed. Then I call it back, all of my energy back to me. Number two, spiritual protection. After I cut cords, I ask Archangel Michael then to put a protective bubble 5 feet all the way around me. And on the outside layer of the bubble, I ask for it to be completely covered with a layer of mirror, then a layer of light, then a layer of mirror, then a layer of light, then a layer of mirror. This is just the extra protection that we as empaths need to help manage and protect us from allowing other people's energy to penetrate through. Number three, this one's important. Become aware of what is your energy and what is not. If you are suddenly out of nowhere feeling this overwhelmed sense of emotion and you don't know where it came from, pause and ask yourself, is this mine or is this somebody else's energy? If it's somebody else's energy, then in that moment, I will send it back to its origin, whole and healed through all time, space, and dimension. And I will completely release it. If it is my energy, then I will sit with it and deal with it in that moment. If I'm in a place that I cannot deal with it, I will recognize that this is something I need to dog ear and come back to as soon as I can. I don't ever want to stuff my emotions. I want to be able to, when they show up, deal with them. But I do understand in some cases we just are not in a place to. So those are moments that it's like, okay, I'm going to revisit this. This is coming, this is surfacing for a reason. I need to deal with it. But again, being able to identify what's your energy and what is somebody else's and work through it either way. Release it for somebody else or release it for yourself. And number four, I cleanse and clear my chakras daily. So this goes back to the spiritual hygiene as well. This is something when I take a shower, I am envisioning the water as it's pouring over me. It is cleansing all the way from my crown, all the way down to my root, all of those chakras to get them cleansed and rebalanced for the day. So I am not carrying forward past energy that's no longer serving me. So Number 4, cleanse and clear your chakras daily. These spiritual practices have honestly been life-changing for me to help me, 1, not take on other people's energy, and 2, feel so much more balanced and centered within my body. Now, I also want to go through my self-care secrets to empath healing. One of the most powerful strategies for maintaining emotional well-being is to establish a daily self-care routine that nourishes your mind, body, and spirit. This includes activities like meditation, yoga, or simply taking a walk. I do this daily. I get up first thing in the morning and I do yoga. Then I will meditate, and then I will go for a walk. By prioritizing our own emotional needs, we can develop a deeper sense of inner peace and stability, which becomes the foundation to healthy relationships and a more balanced life. So the daily routine of self-care is vital. Lastly, I want to go through my boundaries to secret empath healing. Another critical aspect to empath healing is learning how to communicate our emotions most efficiently. This involves setting clear boundaries with others and expressing our feelings while being mindful of our emotional limits. As empaths, we need to really be in tune with what our emotional limits are. And sometimes having these conversations, we need rest before we can actually have this conversation and clearly communicate whatever it is that we need to communicate. If we are not operating within our emotional limits and we are exhausted, we may say things that we wish we wouldn't have said. And this is where people will dismiss us as being too sensitive or too dramatic. We sometimes have a hard time of expressing ourselves in a high stress situation, especially when it's setting a boundary with someone we care about. By embracing our vulnerability and speaking our truth, we can create a safe space for ourselves and others to thrive. Additionally, cultivating mindful practices like grounding within the yoga or the walking, the meditation, this will help us stay present and focused. It's really key to recognize that prioritizing your emotional well-being is essential for you as an empath. It is not a selfish thing. When we're able to take care of ourselves, we become more resilient, compassionate, and present in our relationships, which ultimately benefits everyone around us. So by recognizing our value and worth, we can break free from the cycles of emotional burnout and step into a more vibrant and empowered version of ourselves. Remember, being an empath is not a curse, but it's a unique gift that requires attention, care, and nurturing. By embracing our empathic nature and prioritizing our emotional well-being, we can unlock our full potential. It's time to shift our perspective and recognize that self-care is not a luxury, but it's a necessity as an empath. There is one tool that I cannot live without as my self-care on top of what the tips are that I gave you. I also found that being an empath, I have a very hard time sleeping because my nervous system is usually dysregulated. It's in overdrive. And so if I'm not doing my spiritual and my self-care and my boundary practices, I'm often up at night tossing and turning. So I have one tool. Well, I have many tools to help me regulate my nervous system as an empath, but there's one in particular that I want to share with you. And it is this headband, a Bluetooth headband that I absolutely love, that I sleep with at night. And while I'm sleeping with it, it's super comfortable. I don't even know it's on. The earbuds they don't stick out. They're super comfortable. And I sleep with this listening to meditation or different frequency hertzes to help regulate my nervous system so that I can have a restful night's sleep. If this is something that you're having a hard time sleeping, I highly recommend grabbing one of these. I will drop the link in the description below on how to find one. So to wrap up what we've discussed today, it's the importance of spiritual hygiene, self-care, and setting boundaries is critical for us healing as empaths so that we can thrive. If you found these tips helpful, check out my video on self-care rituals for empaths and share your thoughts in the comments below.